You clicked on this video to find out how to create and sell sample packs in 2024, so let's go. The first thing to do is to decide what kind of sample pack you want to create. It could be a drum kit, loop kit, one-shot kit, vocal samples, whatever it is you make, you can create it into a sample pack. So if this is you creating and selling your first sample pack, I'd highly recommend making something you usually make. So an example would be that if you make 21 Savage beats or loops, then create a 21 Savage loop kit or dark trap loop kit. I think it's right to make a pack of something you're already making so that the whole process is easier, because then you can make the pack fairly quickly and not struggle right at the first stage in just making the samples. Also, they're more likely to be of a higher quality if you're well practiced in making them. I would also say it's probably worth trying to find some sort of niche with your sample pack. It's probably less important than finding a niche when you're selling type beats, but nevertheless, it's probably still worth doing, because that way you can make yourself stand out a bit more from the rest of the crowd. But if you want to make something which is fairly popular like dark trap loops, then by all means go ahead and do it. It's definitely worth just starting rather than worrying about if you're selling or making the right thing. So the second part of this is actually creating the sample pack. Creating the sample pack, the best way that I found is by making them in batches but with regular breaks. So if you find a day or a couple of days where you can record a load of samples all in one go, that's great. Equally though, if you find it's quite a struggle to come up with all these ideas all in the space of a day or a few days, and you struggle creatively with that, then by all means spread the process of creating the sample pack over days and weeks if you need to. It's really just about finding what way works for you the best. I released a guitar loop kit recently where I actually just collated all the loops that I'd made for the beats that I was making and put them in a pack together. So by all means, leverage the samples you make as best as you can. No one's stopping you from using your own samples and sample packs to create beats and then sell those beats, or break down the loops, if you're selling loops, into starters and then sell those starters, or send them for free with a 50-50 split. So for creating the sample pack, find the structure which works for you and gets the best out of you creatively, and that's really important. It's about finding the balance between a way which gets it done efficiently, but also doesn't sacrifice the quality of the samples you're making. Once you've created all the samples and you've collated them together, put them into a folder, and they should all be WAV files, by the way. Name them and make sure you provide the BPM and key in the title of each sample. Also, if you've made a loop kit, stem the loops out at the end, because you want to make it as easy as possible for people to use your samples and sample packs. You want to get rid of anything which gets in the way or hinders the process of using your samples. Ultimately, you're creating samples to support people's creative process, not slow it down. Remember that. The last point on creating a sample pack is that often I like to add a little bonus in there. Whether that's a little cheeky discount code for a future purchase, or another little mini pack inside the sample pack. Anything that really adds value, because that's the ultimate goal, to give as much value to the customer as possible. The third stage we've got to is uploading the sample pack. When you've got the finished product, upload it to your website if you have one. If you guys want me to make a video on how to create your own Shopify store as a producer, then comment below and I'll do that. It's pretty easy to do and definitely worth doing because it really makes you look a lot more professional. If you don't have your own website, then you can upload it to BeatSTARS. Or even if you do, I'd recommend still uploading it to BeatSTARS because you just want to put it in as many places as possible and get as many eyeballs on it as possible. Obviously, to upload it to these platforms, you need to make a cover art. I do this using Canva. I do have the paid version, which is something like £13 a month, so it's not expensive at all, but you could easily make cover art on the free version as well. When making cover art, it's good to try and create something which reflects what's in the sample pack. What I mean by that, if you've made the dark trap loop kit, which I've been referencing throughout this video, then don't have the cover art as a bright, happy picture with sunshine and rainbows. Make it eye-catching with the theme of your own sample pack. Try not to overthink this part. Just make it easy for yourself by making something simple at the start and then go from there, because finished is better than perfect. Number 4, we've come to the penultimate stage, which is promoting the sample pack. To promote the sample pack, you can do so many things. Firstly, if it's a free pack or you've made it so people have to split with you when they use your loops, you can upload it to Reddit. So join a subreddit group like loop kits or sample packs, often because that can perform quite well with SEO. I don't know if you've noticed, but if you search into the web for a certain type of drum kit or loop kit, often it will come up with something from Reddit, which will appear high in the searches. So that's a free way to promote your sample pack and so easy because you just upload it and leave it. Next is promoting it on YouTube. Before doing that, you've got to create an audio preview. I do this by dragging 7, 8 or 9 loops into a project and then just putting a transition effect between them. So you create one long audio preview of your kit. And that gives a really good representation to the customer of what they're getting. To be fair, I didn't mention that you have to do that anyway when you're uploading it to BeatStars. So once you've created that audio preview, you can use it for a YouTube preview video. I create these again on Canva, where I put the cover art in the center and then put something usually quite appealing to the eye to make it more clickable. You can see I've done this here by adding a purple border around the cover art. The background is a blurred, zoomed picture of the cover art itself. You can also upload a carousel to Instagram, which would primarily just be to your followers, but at least you're making people aware that you've brought out a sample pack, and if you've got a bit of a following, that's a good way to do that. I can put an example on screen here. The way you do that is that you just create an individual video for each loop and then put them all together so you can swipe across. And you can create content around your sample pack as well. This is a really creative way of getting more people to see and hear your sample pack who wouldn't usually. You can either try and make them really subtly slide into the video and promote them that way. Obviously, you've still got to stick to the promoting guidelines. Or you can make it more of the subject of the video and make a video where you create a beat using the sample pack, or make some sort of video which is funny and interesting. That's really up to you how you incorporate it, and I'd really recommend just doing it in your own style. But I'd highly recommend just making any sort of content you can around the sample pack, because that way you're going to get more people seeing it and hearing it. You've got to find some way of putting it to a wider audience. The fifth and final stage of creating and selling a sample pack is advertising it. And this is different to promoting, because advertising and promoting are different things. But I'll be cheeky and save this for another video, because there's been quite a lot of info in this video already. What you should really be focusing on, especially if this is your first few sample packs that you're selling, is setting all this up that I've already mentioned. And you can always start advertising your sample packs later down the line, even if you've released them, say 2 years earlier. It doesn't really matter. Thank you so much for watching. If this was of value to you, please like and subscribe. And speaking of sample packs, I'm going to shamelessly plug my own, which is linked below, which is called the Shimmer Guitar Loop Kit, which I've just released. So please feel free to use that, and I'll see you in the next video.